have you ever been starstruck?
Yeah, absolutely.
Several times, once, twice. What?
You know what? It doesn't
comes to
happen
mind?
a lot because I don't know why I get a little bit anthropological about the whole thing. Like I step out of it for a second. I'm just fascinated that that's that person, that's that icon. And then the next step is immediately who are they and how are they interacting with you? It's a scary thing to meet your heroes because you don't always know what the interaction is going to be like. And I've come to learn that even myself, just being out on the street and people that love the show and they want a moment of time and they want an interaction. For me, I'm happy to do that. I know how fortunate I am. It's taken me this long to get here. Fine, thank you. Let's talk. Let's have a second. But I know for some people, it's a busy life and you don't get that moment. So maybe you don't give your best side at every moment. So it's unfair in some ways to judge somebody like that for that one moment. Having said that, there's so many that come through, and there's so many, I got to say, that come through in this town. And so many of mine are great experiences. I don't have a whole lot of bad ones. One of the best was when I played Buddy. I got to meet Paul McCartney. And that's really, it's hard to wrap, seriously, it's hard to wrap your mind around it when you're meeting Paul McCartney. It's like meeting somebody who's on Mount Rushmore, really, because he's on the Mount Rushmore of rock and roll. And what I remember thinking while you're meeting, because you always have your head in another place going, dude, you're meeting Paul McCartney, while you're trying to have a conversation. And what I was thinking was, he was incredibly open and kind and normal. I thought, I don't know if there's ever been anybody this famous and this normal at the same time. I mean, in music. It's a tough thing to get that famous and just to stay as grounded as he seems to have stayed. And the other thing is, when you're in those moments, you don't know what to say, because nothing you talk about Twitter having a limit on what you can type. You get a few minutes with this hero. How could I possibly put into a couple words what the Beatles meant to me? Especially in a way that he hasn't heard 100 million times. So you're always trying to think of that different angle, and I didn't. And in the end, you just decide, try. Your demeanor says everything, and you're just trying to, you're grateful. And I think I said thanks for all the amazing music. I don't know what I said. I was sort of blacked out. But in this town, I've met some amazing, big stars and big people, and they've all been very, very open. There's a real culture of kindness in Nashville that I really like. That is really kind of nice. It's kind of holds people that might have the right to put on airs. They don't tend to around here. Maybe it's because the culture, the rest of them would kind of go, really? Is that what you're doing?
I sense a little LA hostility.
Do you really?
I'm just teasing.
I'd say the point there is I didn't really meet that many super famous people in LA. When I worked with them, I did, though. Yeah, I mean, but I wasn't.
It's just different. It's just different. Because I was in LA last year, and I noticed it's just from coming there to moving up here. You're in two very different realms. So I think probably enough said. I thought it was kind of funny because in here I had a friend that ran into Carrie Underwood in Publix, and she couldn't believe it was Carrie Underwood. She kept peeking around the corner. She was telling me about this, and I was like, see, that's crazy. But out in a place like LA, you almost expect to run.
Having said that, my daughter, when she was in high school, was in a sporting goods store and ran into a superstar icon who could not have been kinder. That was Kelly Clarkson, and I guess in the end it's true. She lives in Nashville, so she's a Nashvilleian. So maybe I didn't get anything out of that, but
I've heard she's awesome in even like meet and greets. Like the bodyguard will tell you she will not shake your hand. You have to hug her. She's only a hugger. So Kelly's one of those people that I'm talking about. She's just the absolute real deal. Who you see on stage in a concert, in a stadium, in an arena, who she's being is who she is. But props to you, Kelly Clarkson, if you're watching this.
Absolutely, she knows that. I am a huge Kelly fan, and she's been wonderful to me.
One embarrassing moment from having been in the business can be anything.
Yeah, well, I've had a whole lot of embarrassing moments from the time I jumped on Ryan Stiles' back in the middle of a Whose Line Is It Anyway improv, and he had to basically scream out a word you're not allowed to say on TV because I pretty much broke him. I forgot I was an adult human male, and I jumped on this other guy's back. So that was a little embarrassing. I remember I was just it was one of my first episodes back on the show, and I was like, oh man, I think I broke Ryan. But more recent one, I was playing an event right here in Nashville. It was a street concert right down between the convention center and the Omni? Yeah, the Omni. And
just say downtown somewhere, but
is it the Omni? Oh, you don't know downtown?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I would just say I was playing.
Okay, right. You're right.
Dumb it down for him.
Well, yeah, I've had a whole bunch of embarrassing moments. An early one was when I jumped on Ryan Stiles' back in the middle of a Whose Line Is It Anyway episode, enthusiastically in the middle of a improvised sketch, and I pretty much broke him, and he had to scream out a expletive that was not able to be aired. But I was like, oh, I forgot I was an adult human male, and he still doesn't let me forget that. A more recent one was at an outdoor event here in Nashville. Very excited to be opening for Dierks Bentley. And it drizzled, rained right before we went out there. They postponed it a little bit, and finally, all right, we're good to go. And I ran out there with my guitar on my back, ran out to the mic, crowd's all going ready for a show, and I stopped at the mic, and my boots didn't, and they just kept going. And literally, my boots went up higher than my head in the air like it was a cartoon fall. And the whole time, I'm wearing my Martin guitar, and I'm like, it was like time stood still. How's this going to end? This is fascinating. Upside down, landed, never let go of the guitar, never put my hands back, landed on my back rolled and my head up like that, and somehow got up, went to the mic and said, I'm all right, and grabbed a towel and wiped down the stage like a doofus, and got up and did my show. But it's hard to retrieve your Deacon Claiborne cool after you eat it on the stage in front of all those people.
Crazy fan stories. What's a crazy fan story?
Well, I've never had anybody that's too crazy. They're all very kind and super enthusiastic. But I was playing an event somewhere after Deacon was diagnosed with his liver cancer and needed a donor, and a woman cried out in between two songs. I think she had been overserved. It sounded like she had been overserved a little bit, and she said, "You can have my liver." and I said, "Well, that's very, very kind, ma'am. I'm not sure that yours is the liver I'd want at this point. It seems like it's been through a lot tonight, but I'm very grateful. But no, everybody's been very nice."
All right, so that was fun. Charles Esten.
Yeah.
Chip Esten. Do your friends call you Chip? How does that work?
Yeah, mostly anybody that really knows me calls me Chip. Whenever it's written down on credits or checks or advertisements for upcoming Riverfest shows, it's Charles Esten. But when people are talking to me, it's Chip.
So thank you for having me at your lovely home.
Thank
you. Can I drop a pin and tweet it? Is that cool?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. But you can see him if you want to.
In fact, we're going to drug you and put you back in the trunk and drive you out so you can't find your way back.
It's all right. I'm not a stalker, thankfully. But if you do want to see him not be a stalker, then you can come to Riverfest this weekend. You'll see him on the main stage, and he'll be hanging out there singing, "It's gonna be a hot one." See,
and you said you couldn't sing.
But see,
you
that's
said
like,
you couldn't sing.
But that's gonna hurt one. But like I don't. So like I just like to get my gonna be a hot one. I don't know.
Pass.
Yeah, pass.
Hey y'all, thanks for checking out the video, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at Beaver1003, Beaver1003.com. All the info in the description.
Hey, how about me? Can you plug my YouTube channel?
Nobody cares about you, Nick Fox Radio YouTube channel.
That's kind of harsh, man. I just made this whole video.
Yeah, nobody likes you.
Bucky, just say goodbye. Tell him to subscribe.
Bye, subscribe.